The antagonists in the Fallout franchise are all characters who directly oppose you throughout your playthroughs, and can range. They can either be perfect adversaries that are so well written that they really make you sympathize with them due to how well they're portrayed, or not that. The clash in moralities across the Fallout franchise provides some of the best stories and climaxes in fiction. However, for the topic of today's video, we will be discussing a different kind of climax. Today, I'm going to be going over every mainline antagonist in the Fallout series and ranking them based on how good they would be in bed. The criteria for this is as follows. I'm going to be ranking which of the 26 primary Fallout antagonists would hypothetically perform the best in the bedroom by 1. How well they perform while doing the dirty, 2. Their physical appearance, and 3. Some freaky shit that I'm sure I'll go on a tangent about later. Characters will also get bonus points if they do well outside the bedroom, in extracurricular activities if you know what I mean. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe for more Fallout, as I made this with love. This is going to be an ordeal, so let's get started. Oh no, no. This is a strong start. Okay, I know this looks bad, and believe me, this is bad. But you see, he's actually like 200 years old and a man. You see, this is a weird kink thing, I'm pretty sure. Just trust me, this is what he actually looks like. It's just a freaky old man who likes to roleplay as a child and manipulate people. I'm gonna keep this extremely brief, because just look at this. This is illegal. I don't need to explain. I don't even know why I included her. I swear to God, if I hear someone ask me why he's at the bottom, so yeah, bottom of the list, not even close. He's big, he's veiny, he's the brain from Point Lookout, and he's also what I believe to be one of the worst Fallout antagonists in bed. Just off rip, I'm like 90% sure this one is also illegal. However, I can actually discuss him because he isn't a child, and I don't make Minecraft videos. Professor Calvert, or as the cool kids call him, the Brain, is the main antagonist in the Point Lookout DLC for Fallout 3. He's also a massive dick. My main thought process for this choice is that he's a brain in a jar. Someone wanting to fuck this creature is taking the term mindfuck to another level. All jokes aside, I don't even want to imagine how a bedroom experience with him would go. He has no real bedroom capabilities besides some kinky shit that I don't want to think about. So even if he gives amazing cranium, I will still put him near the bottom of the list because this is probably illegal. Okay, please give me a real character. It's really hard to write a script about necrophilia and another philia I won't name. Luckily, this one isn't illegal. However, it's another extremely questionable and uncomfortable character to tackle. We have the President. The John Henry Eden kind, of course, who in theory is quite promising. However, in practice falls very short. Now I know on the surface, he's balling. He owns the country, kinda, and could treat you hella good before doing the deed. But you also need to consider the fact that he's a fucking computer, and not able to do the deed. Now, this isn't all bad, as if you imagine hard enough, and are more creative than me, I'm sure you can find some counterplay. Besides, one thing I've learned from those freaky chatbots that I'm sure you get ads for, is that love finds a way. I also don't know how this one would go, and I don't yet see the vision. Despite this, Eden is still an improvement over the wretched Brain, as I'd rather it be really boring than terrifying, disgusting, and definitely illegal. I know this is like the third or fourth character we're covering, but this is a massive improvement from the last few, as Sean, yes your son, yes the old one, is actually able to do the deed. Well yes, he is elderly, and yes, he's not quite my type. It's still an improvement over mechanophilia, a borderline necrophilia, and the other one. He is also a baller, but an evil baller, so he doesn't get to hit. The only caveat being that his dick might possibly not work. But that's what Viagra's for anyways. On the topic of old elderly men in need of Viagra, coming straight from Reddit, we have the son of Mars, Kaisar. The father of the Legion, the breast that feeds it. Caesar is revered for his brutality and stubbornness, frequently crucifying people, which leads me to believe that Caesar would not be a great choice in bed, as someone like him is going in with pure violence and animalistic aggression, like Yujiro Hanma, minus all the sexiness. It's all about passion, not hatred. Let's just say, there's a reason Caesar chose a red raging bull as the Legion's flag. However, the only plus side is that, in terms of extracurricular activities, he is a baller, but an evil baller. The freaky sexist cult kind. So it kinda cancels out. Lastly, Caesar's head game seems extremely lacking. What with the brain tumor and whatnot, and also in the uninspired way. We know he's giving teeth because he would never willingly choose to lower himself for anyone, so he gives bad head just in spite. Which, by the way, just isn't very nice, making me lower his score in fear of my willy. Now we're in the genuine picks that wouldn't be bad in bed. However, whilst good picks, the next few characters I'm covering today are definitely going to leave a lot to be desired. The Mechanist is someone who you would typically spend the night with and have fun, and then regret it for the rest of your life. As you see, the Mechanist is a cosplayer, and one thing not to be overstated is that cosplayers, both male and female, are freaky AF, which means you're getting shit done to you. The Mechanist really isn't a bad pick if you have a shame kink or want to get objectified. So on my life, by default, us Fallout fans are all cracking the Mechanist. Now we're covering like the fourth old white man who's a primary antagonist of a Fallout game, Colonel Autumn, reigning from the south, supposedly, at least if his accent isn't fake. Colonel Autumn is the original elderly asshole in need of Viagra, as he's kind of a dick in Fallout 3. Now, you might be wondering, Noodle God, why is this old white man above the other two old white men? Well, lovely viewer, as you see, I previously mentioned earlier that the Colonel is from the south. His beautiful southern accent, whilst it doesn't directly benefit him in the act, it definitely helps him court and get more traffic down there. Besides, who doesn't want to fuck a sexy southern man? Now look, I know I put a brain in a jar and a computer at the bottom respectively. However, the think tanks at the Big Empty combine them. You get the best of both worlds. The swag of the president, and whatever redeeming quality the brain has, making the perfect creation designed for pleasure. Well, besides me, of course. Also, the reason I'm putting these abominations so high is because, well, there's 6 of them. What's better than one grotesque sex bot? 6 of them. And they're all hella freaky too. Like, those buzzsaws and scalpels that are probably attached to them, they're gonna get work put in. One thing to note is that Dr. Mobius is probably the best pick out of all of them because at least he's chill. They would be much higher though. However, the main thing holding them back is that most of them are sick fucks and will probably lobotomize you mid-session. But if you can get around to that kinky stuff, then you're styling. Welcome back to Season 2 of Evil Old White Men who just so happen to be Fallout antagonists. I'm sure this won't be the last. Now, Father Elijah is the holy grail of limp old men, and is an example of what all of these characters thus far should aspire to be. You see, Elijah is the most unique character I've covered so far. Yes, more than the brain, and his gimmick, and what makes him this special, is his unpredictability. Father Elijah is a wild card, as he's been shown in game to be a freak in the sheets. However, it's ambiguous on how freaky. We know he's gonna make you wear a collar, he's gonna make you bark, and maybe suffocate you, but it's all out of love. Just like all of the other war crimes your asshole is gonna receive from him. The heart wants what the heart wants. So, Father Elijah could reasonably be number 1, or dead last. It's purely based on your preferences. I like to think of him as the people's champ. Now, we're covering the president. Yeah, again. But this time, in the flesh. President Richardson, who, like all the presidents, has aged like fine milk. is the president of the Enclave in Fallout 2. Now let's get the obvious out. He's like 80. His dick probably doesn't work. He's an actual supervillain, and he isn't exactly a looker. But his only redeeming quality, and my only thought process with having him this high, is that he's a super baller. So I know he can buy his own Viagra. I know he's treating me like a queen before we do the old horizontal. And unlike President Eden, this guy's actually capable, albeit barely. So there's that. But I don't really like limp dick, so he's only up here for my inner gold digger. Desdemona is the leader of the railroad, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She's one of like 3 characters on the list that isn't a complete abomination, with this partially being due to the fact that Fallout 4 usually has a very visually appealing game engine. And with all that being said, I still wouldn't tap, because I don't want to look like some weirdo talking about fucking women from video games. That'd be kinda gay. Men though, they're fair game. Also, I'm pretty sure Desdemona's a lesbian, and don't get me wrong, I love me some lesbians, but alas, I'm not a lesbian. Yet, they're still cool, and if I was a woman, I'd probably be one. I mean, what's stopping me now, realistically? Yeah, I'm going off topic again. Desdemona in bed would probably be fairly average. She has no real character traits besides being futuristic lesbian Abraham Lincoln, which makes me think that she wouldn't really be a freak in the sheets, and would in fact be quite dignified. But she's only this high because she isn't an inanimate object, an old man, or a child, which somehow isn't the bare minimum on this list. It just occurred to me, I didn't even mention Dean Domino once in my Dead Money video, which is absurd to me because of how much I love and relate to him. So basically, Dean Domino is the pettiest, most evil, non-antagonist in the franchise. So you might be wondering why he's on here. Well, it's my list, and I love me some Dean Domino. He's only this high because I potentially want to fuck him. So me talking about plowing this fictional character is in my time. Get over it. Dean is the spitting image, mentally, of a virgin male manipulator, which means we're dealing with a Weezer fan. Physically, he's the spitting image of a raisin chucked into the Sahara Desert, and is the youngest old man out there. There's nothing really sexual to say about him that isn't manipulation, and his sexual prowess isn't really tackled in Dead Money. Just one thing that's holding the DLC back from true perfection. Oh yeah, he's also gonna extort you and use you for your body. So unless you're into that, I'm out. I'm pretty sure he lost his cock in the war as well, so I don't even know why he's here. It's okay, Dean Domino. If no one else loves you, I'll still be there for you. The first character with a confirmed working schlong, we have Salt Upon Wounds. He's the leader and chief of the Whitelegs tribe, and he's also a bloodthirsty animal, both on the battlefield and in the sheets. And some would argue that his power fist isn't the only kind of fisting at his disposal. If we're talking appearance, the little pussyo hides his face with a mask, so we don't really know if he's fugly or not. And he doesn't speak English, which is a turn on for some, but not for me. And all of the Whitelegs, including him, are racist and fueled by destruction, which doesn't really add much in the bedroom. As far as I know, besides destruction, Salt Upon Wounds doesn't really have much ambition, so he clearly isn't a baller and wouldn't be able to give you the princess treatment. He's the least interesting character I'm probably covering today, and he's only up here because his PP works, which is more than can be said about the rest of the list so far. Arthur Maxon, the above 18 one. We see him in Fallout 4 as the leader of that game's chapter of the Brotherhood somehow, and he pisses me off. Maxon's kind of annoying like every Fallout 4 character, so that docks points right off the bat for him being from that game. And as to his performance in the bedroom, it seems average at best. Arthur Maxon gives off Andrew Tate fan energy. Maybe it's just the stupid haircut, but he looks like he listens to non-Noodle God podcasts, which simply won't do. This tells us a few things about the man's character, mainly his small cock, and that he's stupid, and since he's a Noodle God fan, he clearly isn't a sex haver. Overall, Maxon has incredible potential, but throws it all away just to watch inferior podcasts. The first antagonist of the series, Lieutenant, has an impressive showing both on the list and in the bedroom. You know, I know, we all know why he's this high. Let's just face the facts. Lieutenant is slinging mad dick. No way around it. But, besides the extreme levels of butt pain he's gonna leave you in, he's also quite the polite fellow. In fact, he's probably the most literate person on the list so far, and that says a lot. Lieutenant would be higher, but you see, he has a very bad, dirty little secret. After you guys do the Devil's Tango, he's gonna dunk you in the Kool-Aid and turn you into a super mutant like himself. Now, this isn't a problem for some people, but I'm not some people. I value my very limited fertility, so this moves him down like 4 spaces. Or, if you're a freakster, then maybe it moves him up 4 places. Just not for me. Not again. It's at this point of the list we're covering characters that are fantastic in bed, however, have some issues. Some worse than others, which leads me to Legate Lanius from New Vegas, who's probably the most hung a human could possibly get, just based on vibes. The Legate is an extremely violent man who has conquered dozens of tribes, and now he has his sights on conquering one more thing. That ass. And he's not playing around. The Legate is gonna conquer that ass like the 88th tribe. And he doesn't have a flag to plant, but he's got something else to plant in ya. Once again, off topic. Seems great though, right? Well, you know what happens next. Always the silver lining part. You see, the Legate is really sexist. Like, he would sit up at night with Arthur Maxson watching Andrew Tate, if he could do that and if they were in the same game. A man this sexist wouldn't do it with a woman, plain and simple. So the Legate is only a good option if you're a dude. So I gotta leverage it out for my huge female fan base, so he's around the middle. Kellogg this bastard. I didn't even want to put him on the list, but for some reason, there's people who genuinely want him in a sexual way. So this one's for you guys. Now, I see the appeal. He's jaded. People like themselves a good jaded man. Ask every woman who knows me. But, you see, a man like Kellogg, I see myself a lot in, which is totally why he's not this high in the list. But a man like Kellogg or me have other things on their mind. Mainly being jaded and aura farming. So I'm not denying that Kellogg would be great in bed. But good luck getting in my bed. Because Kellogg, have hella standards. So yeah, allegedly great in bed, but we'll never know. Now, you know what I said about Lieutenant? What with the big girthy? Well, then if you're at all a fan of that shit, then United States Secret Service Special Agent Frank motherfucking Horrigan is your man. He's like 12 feet tall, built almost as gargantuan as me, and intimidating as fuck. This is getting to lethal territory. Like, seriously, if you like your insides being rearranged, then this guy is number 1 for you, easily. The problem is that Frank is like watching One Piece. He's a fantastic experience the first time, but the rest of your life, you're gonna have to deal with lifelong complications and severe mental anguish, and probably go through multiple surgeries, in fact. It's heaven once, and hell for the rest of time. So I have to average it out as pretty alright, you know. Conclusion, unless your name is Bob Nye and you got booty space to spare, then Frank Horrigan is too much man for you. Now look, I know I've stated that I'd fuck cosplayers, 11-foot girthy monsters, hell, even the brain in a jar to some degree. But aliens, that's where I crossed the line, and the first one on the list. If you want to get in Noodle God 665's pants, you gotta be human. Mostly. So alien intercourse is, well, alien to me. But I know someone who is educated on this subject. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Blue TNT 88.
Hello. Today I am reviewing the alien captain from Fallout 3 for how good they would be in bed. Now, I am an expert in alien biology, so I am perfectly qualified for this examination, we'll call it. Let's first start with the general build. We got like a long, lanky, kind of shriveled up, like old beer belly looking dude. This is like how would I explain this? Imagine like a 60-year-old man who drinks a lot of beer. That's like kind of the equivalent, although he's got like those weird lanky arms, and he's also got, I think, his biggest plus side, the giant cool fingers. You see those fingers? I bet they could do work. Like, look at those things. Look how long they are. They got like pads on the end too. Like damn, that guy's giving some nice massaging of the good old sausage. Like, do you not think those are just perfect for that role? Like come on, look at them. You have to admit it, right? Although something about like the soulless, completely dead black eyes is really unnerving. I don't think that would like get me turned on. It would probably horrify me if I'm being honest. But who knows? Maybe you're into that thing. I think a lot of this has to do with how into shriveled up, weird looking things you are. Because this does look like a 60-year-old shriveled up man who is really lanky and also has, like, he's got a bit of a belly. It's weird. He's got a strange build. I don't know. He's kind of unnerving, but also I think those fingers are they do work, man. Like, come on, those are so practical for happy playtime, fun time. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at? So yeah, I'm gonna give this guy well, I don't really know the ranking system. I'm gonna give him like
number 8 on list.
Out of 10, like a solid
number 8 on list
ranking. Like I see potential, but also he's kind of off-putting. You know what I mean?
Well said, well said. By the way, why aren't you subscribed to Blue TNT88 yet? Go fix that. Asher from Into the Pit is probably one of the most forgettable antagonists of the series, and besides eating his baby, there's really nothing to note. I just know for a fact you didn't know who Asher was before this video. His one thing of note in the series is being one of the few canonical sex havers of the Fallout verse, with him having a kid that everyone consumes. As a matter of fact, if I had the mod installed, I would have 100% included it, which is the only reason he's up here. Having experience in the bedroom is a valuable skill and makes Asher one of the safest picks on the list. However, being a man with experience can only get you so far. He's a boring character, he's grimy, and like everyone else native to Pittsburgh, he looks near death. Now for the most questionable addition on the list. Now let me just put it right out there, I'm not weird, I swear. We have the Scorch Beast Queen. She's a giant bat dragon thing. Now look, I know what this looks like. It's not what you think. If we're being for real, this is the highest I can reasonably put her without looking like a massive furry. And besides, she's only this high for shock value, I assure you. And maybe a little bit of curiosity. As unique as it might be, it's equally likely that I'm gonna get consumed. But you can't lie, it'd be pretty cray-cray. If you don't get Vort, that is. So like, we gotta keep that in mind. And I'm pretty sure she has offspring, so we know she's experienced. And I'm good with kids anyways. Although, if you're a furry, this is like your wet dream. Or if you're into Vor. So like, she's only up here for you guys, not for me. Right? I'm not weird, I swear! With each entry, this is becoming less which characters would be best in bed, and more of a compilation of which characters I want to fuck the most, and outing me as a freak. On the topic of freaks, we got one that I can't really explain. The Master, okay? Look, hear me out. Surely they don't call him the Master for nothing. He's got telekinesis, tentacles, and arguably the most arousing part of him, he's half computer. So you can watch Noodle God videos while doing the deed. Or I guess while he does me, cause he's just that guy. And despite appearances, the Master is actually quite civil. and much more polite than most of the people on this list so far. So we know his mother raised him as the kindest and sweetest person, so at least we know he'll be gentle. But I warn you, the master in bed isn't for the weak. Fortunately, I'm not the weak, so he stays this high. The Fallout TV show brought us one of the biggest aura farmers of the past 2 centuries. He's up here based on aura and sex having ability alone, cause it sure as fuck ain't appearance. We have the Ghoul. Now, your first impression when you see this utter specimen is the nose. Yeah, we're all thinking the same thing, right? I'm not gonna elaborate, cause I don't want to get an age restriction. Now, besides the nose porn, he's also another confirmed sex haver, with him having a daughter. However, while he is confirmed to be able to give you a good time, you'd have to be able to get over his appearance, with him suffering from the incurable disease of being ugly. So, if you're a big fan of fucking, and not a big fan of seeing things, then the Ghoul is a good choice for you. Ulysses is the real final boss of Fallout New Vegas, whose only character flaw is being locked behind a paywall. But even if you're broke, he's prevalent all throughout the main game and DLCs, watching you, biding his time, and is a true boss for you in the story, and I presume the sheets. He's really hot and mysterious and stuff, and is the closest thing to perfect in Fallout New Vegas, being one of like 4 characters in the series with 10 in every special stat. So he isn't a slouch in the bedroom, and he isn't even an equal to you. He's literally better than you in every way. However, in the bedroom, those stats come into play. He's almost perfect, but he's not quite me. You know what they say, you're either perfect, or you're not Noodle God 665. And unlike Noodle God 665, Ulysses wouldn't be perfect in bed. His one flaw is that he's a massive yapper. In fact, he has more dialogue than any other character in the franchise. He'd be whispering sweet nothings into your ears constantly while doing the deed. And that's kind of a throw for me, so he can't really go much higher than this. Okay, this is the last robot on the list, I swear. We have the closest thing to a real sex bot thus far, Dima. I don't know why, but his appearance just frightens me. This is what the liberals want for us. He's a dirty synth, who's clearly designed for sex. Maybe he's only this high because I have the synth sex mod installed. Maybe he's this high because I'm a certified freak in the sheets. Either way, it's getting really hard to explain my thought process for this one. If we're looking at appearances, Dima is a bit ugly, but it's not about that. It's about character. And those rods covering him, that's character. With those, I see potential. Potential that I can't describe because I don't want an age restriction on this video, but potential nonetheless, which single-handedly carries him to the prestigious number 2, meaning you know what comes next. They asked Benny, are you the best in bed because you're Benny, or are you Benny because you're the best in bed? Benny stated, throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the sex haver. Let's be so for real. We all knew this was coming. Who else could reach the top? There had to be someone in the number 1 slot. And there's nobody better for this spot than the man himself, the freshest man west of the Colorado, Benny. Benifer is the perfect creature designed with sex in mind. He's sexy, he's a mega baller, he's got a checkered suit. Is there any way this could get better? I mean, I guess he could be a brain in a jar. As previously stated, he can treat you right before going back to his private suite. In bed, we also know that he's a monster, and a calculated monster. Benny is yet another confirmed sex, however. However, this time, it's a bit different, as the sex involves you. Yes, he fucks you, because female characters in New Vegas have the option of fucking Benny with a perk. So we all know Benny is a certified dog. He's at the top of the list because he's got all of the good attributes on the list, and none of the flaws. He's not ugly, he's not elderly, he's not sexist, and he's not even a goddamn brain in a jar. which is somehow not the bare minimum. It's funny, he shoots you in the head at the start of the game, and then later on, he shoots something else in you. So, I, Noodle God 665, believe that there is no other character in the Fallout lore who can top Benny in the bedroom setting. He really is the tops. Well, that about does it, chat. Big thank you for making it this far, and I hope you enjoyed the journey. Now you know which Fallout antagonists are best in bed. Use this information wisely. If I missed any antagonist, make sure to let me know for a possible part 2. If you liked the video or agree with the list, make sure you smash the subscribe button. And if you disagree with the list, you can also subscribe. If this video gets 20 likes, then I'll continue making these heinous Fallout videos. If not, I'll disappear forever. Do what you like. If you don't like the video, don't forget to smash dislike and send me death threats or whatever. That's about it, Noodle Gang. Thanks again for watching. God bless the Enclave. God bless America. Noodle God signing off.